Hello! I am now going to be talking not just about the sound I did, but camera too. Hey, hey. Because, yeah, I didn't just do sound, I did camera as well. Because occasionally now and then I do a little bit of camera things. And in this case, I'm a one-man army doing both. Just for this small conference I filmed all day long. And yeah, I'll do a quick rundown on how I did this. So the way I did it is I had this camera here, the Sony BMW F3. Back in the day it was horrendously expensive, but you can get it for a pretty good bargain. Second hand these days. I've had it for 2 years now, actually might be pushing up to two and a bit. And so I had that as my main one, doing sort of a medium shot up on them over there, where the speaker is. And then because when you're doing a live event, it's always good to sort of have another shot just there, because it's a one-off event. So for my also, it gets a bit boring for the person who's watching it if it's just simply one angle. So it's good to give the editor an extra angle too. So there's another reason why you use another camera. So for my second camera, which is this one, Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera, which I'm using right now for my vlog, behind the scenes, I used over in the corner over there, coming out this way. And yeah, because I could also use this because the Sony F3 here would be quite a tight shot up on them, and you wouldn't medium tight shot on the speaker, and you wouldn't really see what's going on from the projector here. Thus, I could use this really wide angle shot here. I actually put the Panasonic 14mm f2.8 pancake lens on this for the whole day. So, on the Pocket Cinema camera, that's reasonably wide. It's got a crop factor of 2.88, the Pocket Cinema camera. Although right now, I'm using the same lens, but I've got the wide angle adapter on it, which adds another 0.7 something to the field of view. It makes it a little bit wider, as you can sort of tell. It's still not like crazy wide, but it works. And then over on this, I was at 90mm f4, f5.6 on a Vivita Series 1, which is like, it's a lens I've had pretty much from the day I started filmmaking. It's a really, yeah, it's a good lens. I like it, it's pretty decent. Anyway, what was I? Oh yeah, I've got it on a Nikon mount. One of the handy things about these Sony F3s is although they originally came out as a PR mount, you can actually swap out this mount, because underneath is a FZ mount, so you can swap it out and put all other kinds of mounts. It kind of then feels like a native mount almost. Anyway, sidetracked, what was I saying? I need to wrap up what I was saying about the cameras. And, oh yeah, what I was recording on them, although the F3 can put out really nice quality footage when recording externally, which is what I have this up for, because normally I'll mount my Samurai blade right here to get 10-bit ProRes HQ out of it. I know for like the person who I'm doing it, I wanted to really keep it as simple as possible for them, because they're not going to really edit as many videos, and the other people, I'm just handing over the raw footage to them. And yeah, trying to keep it simple and not sort of overkill them with, terabyte or whatever of a full day of filming. So I'm just recording internally, because the internal on F3 is still not bad, it's pretty sweet. And I'm actually burning in, the look to it. Same with this Pocket Cinema camera. I'm not recording raw on that. ProRes LT is plenty good enough for this, because remember, we're rolling for hours and hours all day long. ProRes LT, and yeah, I was burning in Rec 709 and not bothering with the film log, because yeah, I know the person probably, doing sophisticated color grading, even just dropping on a LUT might be a step too far for them. And on that point, that's why I'm not actually using an external recorder. I'm just sending it straight into the camera, so they really only have 2 files for each talk to deal with. One from this and one from that, and they can pair them up and cut between. That's sort of, I think, within their scope of what they would handle well, rather than overwhelming them too much. But yeah, if you're at all even slightly serious about filmmaking, Yeah, for sure. Shoot stuff in 10-bit, shoot stuff in log, and use double system with an external recorder. But not everyone is like that. So you need to think sometimes about what the client needs. And I did actually though bring along my recorder. You can see my F4 sitting inside its bag and harness here. Because I was actually vaguely thinking to myself, like, I might actually be having more than 2 sources of audio that I want to be handling. And so, although I'll record 2 to the F3, I might just want to have those extra tracks just in case, because I thought maybe there might be, like sort of a soundboard here at the conference center I want to take something out from and other things. But as you can tell, this is a really small conference room. So, there's none of that. There's just the guy up front with the PowerPoint. Which point did I say about what I'm using the second camera for? So the second camera, the Pocket Cinema camera, which I'm now using for my vlog behind the scenes, is off there on the side, going in, really wide, 40 millimeters, while this is quite a tight medium shot, more like a medium than tight, on the speaker up there. And so this wide here is just designed to get, show all the audience and the speaker. Although, if they're doing the PowerPoint up there, I would just sort of tilt it out a bit more so we see the projection screen as well as the speaker and other people as well. So, because obviously this shot here is so tight, we're not seeing the screen. So that way we get that here. Although the organizer who's doing the editing as well, she does have a copy as well of all the PowerPoints and PDFs that were shown up there, so she'll be able to cut those into the edit as well if she wishes. Because especially like if what's being put on is something with like lots of little tiny small words, you won't really want the footage from the wide shot on this. You get going closer and use that. What was I going to say? Okay, yeah. Getting down to the really important part. How do we do the sound? So, we are here, right next to Queen Street, the biggest street of importance in New Zealand, and got air conditioning, and we're in a hotel. It's not the most perfect conditions for audio. It's okay though. Use a lav. Like I'm using a lav on me right now. You just tap on it to annoy people. Tap, tap, tap. Yep, cupping our ears, that's horrible, I'm sure. Sorry. I'm using the Aputure A-Lav running straight into my camera because I'm lazy, so it's just a vlog, who cares? So I've got one of my Sony wirelesses, which is, I really believe is like the best entry point wireless you can get. So I'd have one of them, and I'll put this on a speaker, and it comes back to the camera, but I actually had 2 of them. So then the second one, I would take a look here at the list of the events agenda, who's talking, when and what time, and so okay, that person is talking. Next, we'll put this one on there, and so that way, then I will be ready with the other person, so I can put them on, so they can sort of move out smoothly, not need to juggle like just one, around between people. And so that's what I then had going on here. So now I've got 2. So I've obviously got 2 receivers here from the 2 I'm using. One on the person who's currently speaking, another one on the person who's about to speak. And so obviously the one who's talking at the current time, that is plugged into one of the XLR inputs. The other one from the person who's not talking yet, I leave that unplugged because I'm actually using that second input for something else. And that is the only Rode Link I like, the Rode Link Newsshooter kit. Because, the Rode Link Filmmakers kit, that was my first wireless I've ever purchased. When it just came out, bad decision. They are just too bulky, those transmitter packs, to really use in a film scenario when you want to hide it. Yeah. Anyway, but the Newsshooter kit, I don't really care if that transmitter pack is so bulky, because we're not trying to hide that, and this is kind of a porter situation. Or in the case of this, because they quite often had questions, answers afterwards, or even during it, like Daniel's one, a lot of interaction back and forth between the audience. I would try to make sure that this was being passed around as much as possible, because the downside of a lav is that anybody that's talking quite far away from it, you're not really going to be picking them up now, are you? In fact, it's not so much a downside. That's the benefit. There's a purpose of it. Sounds that are far off. You're not going to really be getting it, just because you're really just getting the person talking. But when you've got this audience interaction, obviously what's on them is not going to work for that. That's why we're this, which sounded fantastic, so long as they would remember to, pass it to the person. But of course, the great thing about this being an omni is the person could be just holding it really awkwardly like this, like so many of them would be holding like that. It would still sound like pretty, acceptable for this. And obviously, if you were to try to if you use a shotgun, if you're passing that around, you get a lot more handling noise from this, but also, they would never get it on axis properly. And you get much worse proximity effect too as people bring it in closer. So yeah, this is perfect for handing it around. In fact, if I was doing a bit bigger event, I'd probably want to have 2 of these, one to have on each side of the room. But for a small one like this, we got away with just having one. And so that then was what would be the other channel. And then because you would have a reasonable bit of a gap between when one person to the next person would come up, also because you'd have somebody introducing the person who's about to come up, they would use this. So, during that point in time, very easy, just unplug one of the receivers and switch it over to the other receiver for the person who's about to walk up on. And then of course, when that person would come off, I would take their lav off them. In fact, would actually have a break in between each 2 blocks of speakers. So this is the time I'll take that off them and do it over for the next block. So yeah, that's how I would juggle one reporter stick mic plus 2 wireless lavs. And oh dear, I'm pretty sick with a cold at the moment. It's not been fun the last few days. Anyway, that's how I sort of juggled 2 wireless and the reporter stick lav. And of course, now I've got a headphone out here and in my headphones, so I could monitor all of this during it. Great. I think I'm just rambling now. That's all I should say. In hindsight, I think maybe I might have brought on my sound devices 552, and then I could have, more easily mixed stuff in to the 2 inputs, because I'm just sitting there. But being on the sound device 552 as well with this one just be a bit overkill. Did it fine. It's probably only my only thoughts about how I might have done this a little differently if I was to do it again. If it was bigger, get a second one, and maybe get the 552. What else can I say? Is that everything? I'm rambling. I should wrap this up. I've got a film meeting to go to tonight, so let's rush back. See ya.